Guys, what is going on? Well, I am out and about on Smokey, my GSXR 750, and you know, I got to thinking, having two GSXR 750s in the stable, why would you have two? Well, I gotta tell you guys, these bikes, as similar as they are kind of different in their approach and in their personality. So we're gonna ride this machine for a little bit today. Oh wait, sound check. Yoshimura R77 sounding good. All right, let's get her rolling. So we're gonna ride this bike and talk a little bit about what makes them different from each other, the blue bike versus the gray bike. And as it turns out, there's a couple of pretty significant differences between these two motorcycles. And I guess they're the most significant differences that you can have if the bikes are practically identical, which, you know, my blue bike and this bike are only 1 month separating the two from build date. Let's have a little fun with this thing real quick. Coming in quickly into the carousel. That little bump back there, I never do mention it, but there is a nice little bump back there that this bike just absolutely eats up. Dropping her into Missouri. Alright, getting her onto the highway. And of course the gas light's flashing. Good grief. Does it ever change? Does it ever turn off? Do I ever put gas in my bikes? I don't know. Maybe they just run on good vibes. Maybe that's it. Anyway, getting to it. So, what separates the two bikes? Well, the gray bike has got a Yoshimura R77 full exhaust, a K&N air filter, and is tuned by Mafia. The blue bike, on the other hand, has an M4 full exhaust, tuned by Two-Wheel Dyno Works. Still waiting on the air filter to show up, but we've already figured out that that didn't really make much of a difference. But the gray bike has also got a 190/55 rear tire. That's the same size as you would find on a leader bike, just basically a +1 for the rear. And that's all that really separates the two bikes. Again, their birth dates are only a month apart. Oh, in mileage, this bike only has 770 miles on it, and the blue bike has a whopping 2,200, so that's enough of a difference for you. They both recently had oil changes. Okay, enough of the statistics. What's the difference? What are they like to ride one versus the next? Well, I've got to say, the more Mafia tune R77 combination feels torquey by comparison to the M4 Two-Wheel Dyno Works tune. The Two-Wheel Dyno Works tune feels like maybe it's a little bit stronger on the top end. Maybe. Hard to say. But this setup, it kind of feels gruntier through the mid-range. And keep in mind, this bike also has a little bit bigger rear tire, which is going to affect the effective gearing, so to speak, because both bikes are still rocking the stock gearing. But one of the key things that you'll find one versus the next, and this is something that I can't really show, I mean, you'll experience it with me, but you won't really get a feel for it, is that this tune tends to have a little bit more engine braking to it. But outside of that, again, it's kind of hard to tell major differences one to the next. But once a little bit of time is spent, And by the way, I am maybe an hour removed from riding the blue bike. Let's go ahead and get her on the side of the tire up here. Come up here, address our initial drop in, third gear, roll on, go ahead and pin it. Feels nice and strong. Good power on exit too. Gotta say, this bike feels really strong through that mid-range. I don't know if I would say it feels stronger. Maybe it does feel a little bit stronger through that mid-range, which is going to affect that corner exit, which this has a lot of mid-throttle. Oh yeah, this bike has got a ton of mid-throttle response, that throttle input. Yeah, I would have to say she is stout, boys. But it's so difficult really to say A to B, which one is the better combination. But God, this bike is really good. Definitely feels like it is all there, no doubt about it. So, in terms of just how they sound, man, I gotta say, they're both really good, although the M4 is louder. The R77, it isn't all that much louder than stock. I mean, it's got a deeper tone. It's definitely got more volume to it. But it doesn't really give aftermarket exhaust vibes. It almost feels a bit more, or sounds a bit more like you've got a slip-on, which is absolutely not necessarily a bad thing. Let's go ahead and get her back on the side of the tire. What I love about these Gixxer middleweights, just place it for everyone. Yeah, right here, this is where the bike feels stronger, that partial oh, yeah, she is definitely spicy, boys. So in terms of the outright power, yeah, you might give it to the more Mafia tune. And I do like that it has a little bit better engine braking. The two-wheel Dynaworks tune, that's certainly something that is changed, that is noticeable with that tune. Another thing about these two bikes, you know, I had mentioned that they're only a month apart. You know, the tune and tires and gear and all that notwithstanding, I gotta say, they are different. Like the way that the suspension set up, or the spring pack, or whatever. So when I measured sag bike to bike, they were different. Now that might be because it's got a little bit taller rear tire on the back, affecting how the weight is going to be shifted. Shouldn't have made that big of a difference. But it was literally 2 millimeters less in the rear and 2 millimeters more in the front in terms of rider sag, which I kind of thought was fun. But it's just little differences one to the next. I also dialed in 1/2 more turn on compression damping with this bike. And oh, the throttle response on these blips is so good. Oh, goodness. Yeah, these Suzuki middleweights are awesome to spend time with. So which one do I like more? I don't really have a favorite one to the next. I can say that this tune feels a little bit stronger in general, but it doesn't necessarily feel stronger like at the far right hand side of the tack, maybe through the mid-range, but that could also be a function of the exhaust. So definitely two completely different bikes, two different tunes, two different exhausts, two very distinctly different personalities, and God, I love them both, guys. I can't pick a favorite. But listen, if you made it this deep into the video, consider smashing that subscribe button. Helps me out a ton. But with that, I'm going to get back out and have some more fun with this thing. Y'all take it easy.